Guy.
Thank you.
Good. How does it feel? It's out.
Yeah, Right to Dream is out. It feels surreal. It really feels like literally a dream come true. Literally a dream come true. I've been working on this mostly in secret.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. When was the point when you even first started selecting beats and getting
October 2016 is when I started working on the project, and then we finished it in February 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it hard to keep it under wraps the whole time? Was it?
Yeah, it was hard. There was times when I was like, oh, somebody might find out. I purposely picked a studio that I knew like a lot of industry people, a lot of people who wouldn't know me would go to. Right. That it was like, a friend's studio. It was tucked away, but it was really, really a great studio. And then sometimes in the building, I seen other people that I know from just like colleagues at work. They'd be like, oh, what you doing here? And I had to like fake out a little bit, but. Yeah, it was a long process, and I was definitely mindful of, man. I just I didn't want to tell people that I was going to do an album. I wanted to show people.
Right. I think that's a good message to the youth, and I know that's important to you.
Yeah.
And what did you learn about yourself? You said you learned something about yourself.
During the process of doing this whole project, Right to Dream, I really learned that I'm a storyteller, man. It took me. I didn't set out. There's maybe, last night, this morning are two stories. Fredo is a story. Jason's lyric is a story. Like more than half the album is story rhymes.
Right.
And I didn't set out to do that. It just happened, and I realized that. I'm a better storyteller than I thought I was, and I gave myself credit for going there.
You think that's because you're such a hip hop head, such a journalist at heart?
I don't know what to describe it. What to assess that to. I think in journalism, good journalism is good storytelling.
Facts.
So I think I just have a knack for that. And then again, like growing up on Big, like I think Big is the greatest storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
In hip hop, really, I think Big is the greatest storyteller of our generation, of the past 30 years. I don't think there's a better storyteller than Notorious B.I.G. In any medium. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about if you writing books. Like I feel like Big could have wrote novels on some, like on a, I don't know, like a Stephen King level, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have wrote like crime novels or something like that, and it would have been just as vivid. So, that those influences started creeping in.
Right. Okay. So how does Brooklyn shape this whole tape?
I mean, a lot of the tape, a lot of it is storytelling, and more specifically, a lot of it is storytelling about how I came up. So coming up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, like, is definitely like a character in the whole album and EP. I wouldn't be who I was without Brooklyn. I think, it's all New York, and it's all kind of like in the city, and it's all this and it's all that. But I think growing up in Brooklyn, life would have been just a little different in the Bronx or Queens, like subtle differences,
That's how I feel. I grew up between Eastern Parkway and Franklin and Bedford.
Yeah.
So, I always thought Brooklyn was a dope experience in itself.
Right.
And so now you're interviewing rappers.
Yeah.
And you working on a project still in the process?
Like currently, like right now?
No.
I'm working on the project at night, and I'm interviewing rappers in the day.
Now, how's that feeling? Like, man, I could flame this dude right now.
But I always felt that way. Not necessarily like I'm not looking at nobody like competition. Like, first of all, I was competing with myself. The competition was with myself. Like I had to challenge myself to make the best thing that I knew I could make, and I wanted it to match up with like things that other rappers are doing. I wanted to exist. I didn't want to be just good enough. Like, oh, he's good for a journalist who raps. Nah, I wanted it to be like put me in the field with the rappers, and I still got work to do, but I think we made a hell of a statement with this EP. And sometimes I'm it's not even like being better than other rappers. It's more so my passion for it. Like sometimes you come across artists who is just a hustle. Or you could be like, they ain't gonna last too long. Like, they don't really love it. They ain't really putting their all with it. They playing with it. They just playing with it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not playing with it. So, even though, like, we joke and say, I'm better than rappers that I interview, like, it's more so, when I say that, it's more so the passion. Like, I ain't playing with it. Like,
gotcha.
And sometimes it breaks my heart when I see people get a shot and they just playing with it. You know what I mean?
Right. So now, What can we expect? Double duty, different hats. What's next?
Nah, same hat. You know what I'm saying? Definitely the same hat. I'm gonna continue to do both. Like I'm gonna continue to be me. This is just adding on to what I do. This is not to take away. I love journalism. I love being at Genius. I'm still gonna be at Genius. I'm still working at Genius. You're gonna see the quality and the goal for Genius, and I think we've done great. You know, since I've been there the last 2 years, you know, we've done great, and we have a great team. You know, it's not just me; it's an entire team that's working to do it. So the last 2 years, the growth that I've seen in the last 2 years of Genius has been bigger than any growth that I've seen in any company.
It's been huge
in the music space. And we're not done. We're going to continue to grow. So that challenge, and I still love it. So I still got work to do there, but I want to challenge myself with the music and make better music and still grow there. You know, I make the analogy of Diddy. Like, I came up watching Diddy. We all came up watching Diddy. It's not like Diddy got Revolt and said, okay, I got to leave Bad Boy because I got Revolt. No, I'm doing both. And I'm going to do Ciroc. And guess what? Sean John still in Macy's. Go cop that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy showed us, Jay showed us, like Nas. You know how many businesses Nas is investing in? Sweet Chick and Bevel and Genius on the low, and you know all these different companies. Like Nas don't got one hustle, and we still waiting for this album. Like so, you know these are the guys that set the bar for our generation.
Right.
They didn't set the bar for us to go under it. I want to go over the bar, like, you know, and it's a long way to go, but I ain't going to get there by, like, just limiting my hustle and limiting my passion.
Right. And that's one thing I loved about this whole thing. You was stuck to being you. You didn't say, no, I got to go do the mumble rap, or I got to, you know, do this. It's just straight you.
Yeah, I don't know how to mumble rap. Like, I don't even know what mumble rap is. Like, definitely, like, you know, it depends. Like, who would you describe as mumble rap? Like, you know
just people who just flow ride the beat. I guess Uzi and Thug and.
See, I would disagree. I think I don't understand everything that Thug says, so I get why people say mumble rap. But I think Thug is brilliant. I think when Thug is not saying anything, or where it's not like readily just like hits your ear that you could understand it, then usually he's in a flow pocket where it's harmonious.
Exactly.
And you know, I look back at that, I'm like, I ain't understand everything Das Effect said when I was coming up. Or if you want to take it back to jazz, when they was scatting, like it wasn't even words, like it was just sounds, but it was rhythmic. So I put Thug in that category, and that's one of his strengths. That's not necessarily a strength of mine. Like my whole thing is I'm good with words. You know, people know me as a writer, like, and I could tell a story. So my goal is to make sure that you hear every word and you hear it clear, and I'm drawing a picture for you. But that's just the way I approach music. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say it's better or worse than the way somebody else approaches music. Like, I write all my rhymes down. There's some artists who just go in the booth and say the first thing that comes to them, and it works for a lot of them. Again, it just depends on your passion and your drive in the game. Like, if you out here playing with it, it's gonna show up in the music. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you know, Thug is somebody that I enjoy, and I marvel kind of at the things that he does.
No, yeah, me too. All About the Money, I think is ridiculous.
All About the Money is crazy. My favorite Thug verse is he killed that new Meek Mill verse on, is it We Ball? I forget the name of it, but he killed it when he said, "Man, kicking it with bitches like Kevin Gates." I was like, oh my god, dog. Wait, yo, first of all, you're not supposed to say that too. How can you say that? Javinci on the Rich Gang tape. Don't stop. You know I can't stop. But back then in the box. Yo, Thug can rap.
It's all about a flow.
Yeah, Thug can rap. But that Javinci verse, my favorite verse might be Javinci from the Rich Gang tape. Like, he killed that joint, top to bottom. Yeah, it's a dope. I always tell people who be like, Thug can't rap, I'm like, listen to Javinci from the Rich Gang tape.
Nah, it's no shot at Thug. It's just I wanted to.
It's different styles though. Like, it's definitely like different. That's all it is to me. It's like different styles, but. As an artist, I respect it.
But you can see a lot of people running to the popular sound.
Yeah, then he sets the bar, and then there's other people who go kind of copy that, but that ain't really their strength. They just doing it because it's the in style. Like, if I would have went there and copied what Thug did or what Uzi did, like, y'all wouldn't have respected it.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And Ebro would have.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been true to myself. I don't think it would have came out as good. I think the reception of this is like, oh, that sound like Rob. Like, based off of what I know about him, this is what I would expect the thing to sound like. Like, I don't think they would have, like, I wouldn't even know how to make a record like that. And maybe I'll learn, and maybe I'll grow, maybe, but if I do, it'll be a natural evolution. We're not gonna force anything just because that's the sound, so we got to do it. I'm trying to make timeless music and tell timeless stories. So you can't do that if you're chasing a current sound of today.
I wish more artists would know that.
Right.
I wish more artists would know that.
Well, hopefully we teach them. But look, I'm happy too. You need trash artists. It make the good ones stand out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely trying to raise the bar.
Okay. So who would you say is your top 5 lyricists today, or rappers?
Today or just of all time? Today or all time? Today.
Right.
Today, right now. See, that's a different question from all time.
You
Kendrick of today. I'm gonna put Kendrick, Royce the 5'9", and you could go either way. Like Kendrick, because Kendrick got crazy hits, but I think Royce is
just lyrics.
Jesus Christ. Royce, like
I
on the
haven't
track.
dived into Royce stuff.
Royce
like
the 5'9" on the oh my God. So if we just talking about lyricists like Kendrick, Royce,
Cole.
Definitely I would put Cole up there. I don't know, it's just weird. Like I like what Jay is doing. I like what the new kid Joyner Lucas is doing. I like what Nick Grant is doing lyrically. I think Ab Soul is crazy. I think Q, I love the way Schoolboy Q finds flows. Like the whole TDE I kind of rock with. It's a lot. That's a hard, right now is a hard question.
I know you want to give all time. So who's your
all time, Hove. My favorites is Hove, Nas, Pac, Big, and Scarface. On my top 5.
Storytelling because of why's Pac in there? People wouldn't.
I think Pac one of the greatest songwriters of all time. I think you listen to a song like Dear Mama, and that the songwriting, like he's one of the greatest songwriters ever. Like we got to talk about, how they talk about the Beatles and or John Lennon, like Imagine All the People, like one of those classic timeless songs.
Right.
Like Pac belongs in that conversation, like the same way people in rock and roll talk about John Lennon. Like Pac is like on that same tier. It ain't might be better. Like at least for me and my generation, more impactful as a songwriter. When you do a song like Dear Mama with just one line, even as a crack fiend, mama, your old ways was a black queen, mama. Like, you know how many people, realities he described with just that one lyric? Like, I ain't mad at you. Keep your head up. Like, Pac is the greatest songwriter that hip-hop ever had. And then, again, when we take it out of hip-hop, to me, he's up there with the John Lennons, the Bob Marleys, when you just talk about great songwriting. So that's why Pac is there for me. Nas and Jay, like I think it's self-explanatory. Big is self-explanatory, and Scarface to me, I grew up. I didn't get baptized Catholic till I was like 22.
Really?
I was a grown man when I decided to get baptized. My parents couldn't agree on what religion because they had 2 different religions. Scarface to me was like a preacher. Like I found God in Scarface's music, and I don't know if he intended that, but Scarface used to rap like a preacher. Like I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. You know what I'm saying? I found God in Scarface, like for real, like in his music. I don't listen to gospel music. I'm not really up on gospel music. I'm gonna tell you about gospel music, but I said it and I don't want to wait. I said bless Brad for the gangster and the gospel. Brad is Brad Jordan, that's Scarface.
Right.
Bless Brad for the gangster and the gospel. The fix was like the Bible, and Face was our apostle. Like that's just what he meant to me. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think hip hop is very spiritual, so I always like to go the spiritual route, see where people pulling from spiritually.
Yeah.
And that's dope that you mentioned that.
Yeah, absolutely. I Don't Want to Wait is like my version of a gospel record. I'm not really well versed in gospel, but it kind of deals a lot in religion.
I watched sorry to go off topic, but I really watched your To Pimp a Butterfly interview with Kendrick closely. How did you feel like doing that? I could tell it was like since it was so personal, I could tell it was like some heavy moments. How did you feel going through that?
It was great. I didn't know if it was a good interview when I did it.
Right.
I didn't know that people would like the interview. it was me sitting there having a conversation, one with an artist that I respect, but a friend of mine. Me, Kendrick and I have had a number of personal conversations off camera. So to me, that was just a continuation of our personal conversation. So I remember leaving that interview thinking, I don't know if people gonna like this. Like, I thought maybe it was too personal. Like, I know I had a good conversation with my friend. I didn't know if the world would receive it as such.
I think they did.
Yeah.
They did. But yeah, we'll wrap it up, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah, you know, I'm just gonna tell everybody to cop the album Right to Dream. It's on iTunes, Apple Music, man. Definitely like support the music. I want to do it again.
Absolutely.
And the support has been overwhelming so far, man. But you know, just thanks everybody for the love.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Peace.